You're there, yes. Thank you. All right, we are joined by Virginia Tech head coach Kenny Brooks, Elizabeth Kitley, and Asia Shepard. We'll start with an opening statement from Coach Brooks, then we'll go to questions for the student athletes, then we'll do questions for Coach. Coach?
Obviously, we're very disappointed with the outcome, but it doesn't change how I feel about these kids. The effort that they gave all year, very, very proud of what they accomplished. Stings right now because we had high aspirations for this group. So stings right now, but I'm very, very proud of these kids and the effort they gave all year long.
Questions for the student athletes, please raise your hand. We'll get a mic to you. We'll start in the front row here on the left side. State your name and affiliation.
Chris Hirons with Tech Sideline. Liz, first off, how's the shoulder? And then what were you seeing that allowed you to be so successful today?
Yeah, it's fine. Just, when the game gets going, it's not something you think about. And obviously I had a pretty large size advantage, so I knew that coming in, and so did a lot of stuff to take advantage of that.
Stay on the side there all the way far left.
Eric Johnson, WSLS 10. This is for Asia. What can you say about their style of play? And it really seemed like their tempo kind of threw things off on the offensive end for you all.
We knew coming in that they wanted to either shoot threes or layups, and give them credit. They hit shots when they needed to, but that's their style of play. Very similar to ours, but they hit a lot of timely shots. So.
Aaron McFarling with the Roanoke Times. Liz, that three-pointer by C at the end, it looked like you were trying to rotate out there as quick as you could. How much of a challenge was that for you tonight, trying to get out on those shooters, and what did you see on that particular play?
On that particular one, I think it was Bell in the paint, and I was there. The game plan was for me to be there to try and help KT, I think it was, and then to get out there as fast as I could, and if they make it, And she made them. She was, I think, 4 for 7 from 3. So credit to her. She stepped up.
Other questions in the room here? We'll go to Gabe on the aisle, and then we'll come back over on the left side.
Gabe Eber from Herb Stats. Asia, hate to ask this now, but I was just wondering if you had any chance over the past couple weeks to think about the legacy you're leaving at Tech and what you've accomplished here.
No, like Coach has said, none of this has really hit me yet. But I'm just grateful for the opportunity to have played here and to be able to have my name in the record books is a plus. But the biggest thing that I'm proud of is that I received 2 degrees from Tech. So
We'll go back on the left-hand side, take a few more for the student athletes.
Asia, can I get your thoughts on Liz's performance today? Just school record points. Every time you throw it to her, she's scoring in the fourth quarter. Just when you're out there with her, what was that like to be able to watch her do that?
She's phenomenal, but I think Coach would agree with me on this too. We knew this was coming. It's just that you all are now getting to see it, but she's phenomenal in every aspect of the word. And she works so hard at this, so I'm sad for her for the outcome, but the things that she's able to do and how she is able to take advantage of people's defense is amazing. So I'm just so happy for her, and it's exciting that she has a couple more years here.
Anything else for student athletes? All right, you guys can head back to the locker room. Congratulations on a good season.
Thank you.
We'll continue with questions for Coach. If you have a question for Coach, please raise your hand. All right, we'll go to the back of the room on the aisle.
Coach, you hold Kendall Spray to 1 3-pointer, and I think that was kind of a desperation shot at the end of the shot clock, but they still finished with 15. Was it just a case of too many sort of supporting players stepping up for them, and it's hard to guard everyone?
Yeah, it is. It is hard to guard everyone, and we wanted to make sure. We did a really good job on the main 2 3-point shooters, but in a game like that, with a game plan like this, Carl probably can say the same thing. I think their game plan was to take away our three and let Liz do her thing, and she did it. And our game plan was to, make the others hit shots, and they did. And it wasn't only that they were hitting shots; they were hitting timely shots. The big ones when, momentum was about to swing our way, or whatever the case might be. And give those kids credit, man. And this is not just a Kirsten Bell show, or whatever the situation is. They did a really good job, and they stepped up and they knocked down shots, and they looked confident. So it's a good game. It's a really good game, very entertaining game. But give them credit; they did a really good job.
We'll go in the front row here on the aisle, and then move our way across.
Jack Brisnine, 3304 Sports. They only had 3 turnovers on the game. What about the way that they played offense made it so hard to disrupt their passing lanes?
We're not a disrupting team. You can look at our stats, and I'm very proud of it. We don't turn the people over a lot. We guard the paint. All right, we guard the paint, and we force you to shoot a lot of mid-range shots. This is why we knew it was going to be a tough matchup for us, because they don't shoot mid-range shots, and it's either a layup or a three-point shot. And when you've been practicing it for 365 days, it's what you do. And so we didn't want to overextend and try to get them. They're a very smart basketball team, very well coached basketball team, and so you're not going to give them layup backdoor cuts. They take advantage of that. So we try to keep them in front of us, make the others shoot the threes, and they stepped up and they made them. So I'm not looking at the fact that we only turned them over 3 times as a disappointment. It wasn't part of our game plan. Our game plan was to really contest those 3-point shots and make the others make them.
Work our way across.
Kenny, no 3-pointers in the first quarter that you guys took, and then took 8 in the second. Did something just switch, or did the shots just become open?
No, well, I mean, we just kind of went with the flow of the game. And obviously, we knew we had a size advantage inside, and once we found out that they were really trying to go one-on-one with Liz, that's where our focus was, to go there. And then they kind of mixed it up a little bit, where they were kind of like us. They were in desperation mode. They were like, okay, we got to change something. Then they kind of threw a couple of double teams at her, and like we tried to switch up our focus off of the ball screens or the way we were playing. But we're a team. We've never been one way or another. We're not one-dimensional. We're not just inside, outside. We pretty much play to the flow of the game, and that's the way that the game was going.
We'll take 2 more in the front row here, then I got to go to Zoom.
Kenny, you told us yesterday, look, don't get upset if they hit a 3. We know it's going to happen. They hit one in the third quarter that was off the backboard at the end of the shot clock. At that point, I mean, were you like, what do we got to do here to
sometimes the basketball gods are on your side, and that's why it's why you play the game, and miracle things happen, and this time of the year just gets really exaggerated. But that was a momentum swing. I think we were fighting, and we were doing what we needed to do to climb back in. I think that took them back up to 7 or 8 point lead, and just the way that it happened, it's just, it could have been demoralizing, but we responded from it, and we were able to take the lead. And a couple of things happened after that we could have done better to shore up the lead. But you look at a shot like that, and you play basketball long enough, you coach long enough, you're on both sides of that kind of shot, and that's just something that you have to make your own luck, and maybe we don't even think about that shot if we had handled some other situations differently. But it was a momentum swing for them, and maybe it pushed them over the hump.
All the way on the left-hand side.
Coach, along those same lines, did you ever find yourself having a huddle in which you told your girls, hey, let's stay true to who we are? As much game planning as you did to defend them, did you ever have to remind them, say, hey, let's stick to what we do best?
Yeah, I mean, you have to in a game like this. What's your alternative? You're not going to go out and just do something totally different. You've been practicing what you have been preaching all week. And eventually you got to say, okay, if we push out a little bit harder and we contest a shot, maybe they don't make that shot. But, again, you give them credit, man. They made timely shots. It was like if they desperately needed to have that shot, it seemed like they made it. And maybe it's just me and the way it felt, but you give them credit. They made those shots.
All right, we'll go on the aisle here, then we'll take one on Zoom, then we'll wrap up.
Coach, they switched up their coverage on Kitley in the middle of that fourth quarter. I was just wondering if you had seen, if you were expecting them to play that card, and if you could evaluate how your team
play that
reacted.
what?
like play the card of like kind of just attacking the entry pass?
Well, I mean, the way they started playing her, anytime that it's lefty up there. Anytime that anybody plays her one-on-one, her numbers are astronomical. She's player of the year, and she averages 17 points a game in our league, and she gets beat up quite a bit. She gets beat up all the time, double team, and when she's able to move freely, I don't think there's anybody in the country that can guard her. And I'm biased, obviously, but she's a tremendous talent. So we were expecting them to do a lot of different things, and the fact that they mixed it up a little bit wasn't surprising. I just don't think tonight much would have worked, just because she really had it going. She probably missed it. She's probably really mad at herself right now because she missed 4 free throws, and that she probably missed a couple of shots that she'll be thinking about probably all night. But I thought she played, a great game. But she's a phenomenal kid. Asia said it. She doesn't care if she scores 2 points or she scores 42 points. She wants to just make sure she wins, and that's the thing that she'll be thinking about right now.
We'll go to Greg Hardwig from the Naples Daily News on Zoom. Greg, your line is open.
Hey, Coach, as you mentioned, some other players hit threes for them, but when you had taken a 68-66 lead and Bell got one pretty much in transition, just your thoughts on her hitting a shot like that.
Well, my thoughts on her hitting that particular shot was that we were very, very frustrated after the fact because it was a miscommunication in transition. We had people where we wanted them, and one of our kids took the wrong person and allowed her to walk right into the three-point shot. So that's the one thing that I remember about that particular play. But those are things that we have to take ownership of. You can't give a player of that magnitude a shot like that in a moment like that. And it just goes back to, what I was talking about. They hit timely shots. When they needed a shot like that, they stepped up and they knocked it down.
All right, Coach. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
Hey, thank you guys all year. You guys have been great. All right. Mel, how you doing? Good.
Congratulations on your